You're listening to the Holistic Interior Design Podcast. This is a podcast that guides you as a new or inspiring independent interior designer navigating your entrepreneurial path. Here, with my over 20 years experience, I will share my holistic approach to design with intention and ancient practices, including feng shui, all incorporating mind, body, and spirit into my design projects. You will also learn from seasoned interior designers as they give strategies and insight of how they built their businesses and continue to work in the field. Together, we will discover supportive trade partners, new ideas, creatives, and inspiring artists from around the world. I am your host, Rachel Lorraine Crawford. Hey there, welcome back to the Holistic Interior Design Podcast. I thought I would come on today to do a beautiful recap of our first Design Coach Collective retreat called Ready, Set, Launch. It was a 3-day retreat here in Encinitas, California. We had 6 aspiring interior designers come in for a weekend of clarity, getting them ready to launch their own interior design businesses, and inspiration and community. So today we're going to do a nice recap, letting you all know what happened at the retreat, what were the insights that I got personally from the retreat for my own business. And I thought you would all benefit and would like to know what it was like to be at our first retreat. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and light our candle here. Always setting the intention of connection with all of you. So connection, community, inspiration. Hopefully that you'll get some of that today. And I'm pulling a card. I've got my tried and true Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck here. And let's just see what we have for today. King of Swords. And the King of Swords is standing in our authority, speaking our truth, being very clear on what it is that we're here for, being clear on our values, being clear on our vision, and everything that we hold true in our hearts. So this is a very clean, clear, it's an air card. It's speaking our truth. And the fact that it's a king has a little bit more of a masculine authority here. So really standing in that power. Alrighty, so just to give you a recap of our retreat, first day we got to the home, everybody sort of came in, and I really wanted to do an exercise with everyone to connect with an archetype and their identity as themselves as an interior designer. So we went into the 16 personalities test, had everyone take the test and read it over and share with everybody in the group what resonated with them. If there was anything that didn't resonate, what that meant too, and just got some more insight. And then that on one side, and then I ran all over their astrology charts, and we took a look at their sun sign, their moon sign, and their rising sign. So their sun sign as being their core identity. This is who they're growing into. This is the sign that we might most identify with. And then our moon sign is the emotional piece, who we are behind closed doors, how we process emotions, how we feel about certain aspects, and how we can use that to come in kind of as a secret superpower. And then we have our rising sign, and our rising sign is all about the mask that we wear when we first meet somebody, how we're presenting ourselves on the outside. So just being aware of each one of those signs, what each one means, and then I had them kind of compare and contrast to their personality type with the astrology signs to kind of get a sense of a deeper identity of who they are and how we can use that as their interior designer self. And then they all created an archetype to connect with so that they can step into that archetype power when they are in designer mode. We did a nice meditation, a visualization of them as a designer a year out, and what their lives look like, the clients that they're going to be working with, the projects that they're working with. And then we wrote a letter to ourselves from that place. So writing a letter as us, as these designers, a year out, talking to us now, and just sharing what life looks like, sharing what was in that visualization. So I thought that was really neat. It was a nice exercise for them to get to this big picture vision space. There's a lot of power in there, and you can do this yourself. You can really just, close your eyes, connect to your higher self, and see where you're at a year from now. What does that look like? Um, and then kind of give yourself a path to get there. From there, we dialed in our niche, looking at the different aspects or different areas that we can work in interior design. And I would love for you, if you don't know your niche, what we did, what I recommend doing is a Venn diagram, basically having one circle, sharing what you like to do. What do you like to do in interior design? Is it the drafting part? Is it the 3D rendering? Is it the project management? Is it sourcing? Is it doing kitchens and bathrooms? Or is it revamping what's already there, or reusing or repurposing things that are already in a space? Maybe you just like to do bedrooms, or you want to do home theaters. Looking at that, what do you like to do? The second piece is, what are people asking you for? Are there certain projects and jobs that people are coming to you specifically on? Like maybe they love the way you styled your bookcase and they want you to come and style their bookcase, style their fireplace, come in afterward and pick all the pillows, pick all the accessories, placement of art. That's a niche all on its own. And if that's something that you like, you've got something there that's in common. And then the last piece is, what experience do you have? Many of you are coming from a second career and you've got a whole life of doing another, area of work. Maybe it's in tech, or it's in accounting, or it's retail. Like there's many, many aspects there. And there's so many skills. That was one aha moment that many people had, was there were so many skills that totally transferred over into interior design. Maybe it's sales, and you've had this whole sales career and you have this connection and you love relationships with people. So putting all these three pieces together, where they all intersect or where they all connect, is your niche. That's where you excel. And of course, you can change this later. You can evolve. Things, vary at times. But if you have three of these things that are dialed in, you can't do anything but succeed. And if you don't know where to start, that's definitely what I would take a look at. We also dialed in our ideal client profile. So who it is that we are serving, where are they living? What is their job title? How many kids do they have? Do they even have kids? What are their pets? What is their lifestyle like? What do they do on the weekend? What are they doing in the morning? What is their routine in the morning? What's their routine in the evening? What circles are they connecting with? What events are they going to? What memberships are they part of? Where do they go to the gym? Like really dialing in who it is that we're serving. And then we had a nice lunch, and then we go into the legal aspects. So we had a lawyer come in and really teach us and talk to us why having an LLC might be a benefit over having a sole proprietorship, and gave insights on how to construct your business. He also went over some really key aspects of things you don't want to keep out of your contract, what you need to include. And I will definitely be inviting him in to a podcast episode, dialing in those top things that you need to have in a contract. So stay tuned for that episode. And another thing he went into was trademarking, which I hadn't even thought about, trademarking the name of your business, and also about naming, and gave us some great insight on how to name our business, what's the benefit of having a business that's not our name, and why that might be something that you want to do. So we'll talk about that too on the upcoming episode for sure. But it was just a really enlightening key aspect, bringing that in, which I thought was so cool. And then that evening, we did a field trip. We went to Nativa Interiors in Solana Beach on Cedros, and we got to connect on the showroom floor, take a look at the products, see the sample sets. We had other people from the industry come in, so it was a nice, beautiful industry introduction to other reps in the industry, how to work with them. learned a bit about Nativa, what services they have to offer, how you can partner with them as an interior designer. And then we had our dinner at Native Coast Appliance. And there we had the most delicious dinner ever. It was really beautiful. But again, it was really neat to go to another showroom to learn about who they are, what services they have to offer, and how they can support you as a designer so that you don't have to know all the things. You just need to be resourceful and know how to get the answers. So they were able to introduce themselves, share their partnership, share the different programs that they have for interior designers, and to be able to partner with them on your projects. Again, you don't need to know everything about every single appliance. There are people that specialize in specific appliances, brands, finishes, all those things, so that you can show up as your best self as the interior designer that has the resources that your clients can't get on their own. Talking about value of being an interior designer. Next morning, second day, we went into the key elements of having a business plan and why that was so important. So Ginger Robbie, our partner at Design Coach Collective, really dove deep into this. We have a template for them where they can start writing out this business plan. Of course, this isn't something that you can do overnight or in one little hour session. This is something that takes time, but it was really nice to have somebody kind of walk you through all the different elements. And she had examples of different business plans. So it was really cool to see what other people are doing and how they are projecting their years, setting their goals, and also just how they're pricing, how their structure is, in their business. And then we had Joseph Hacker come in and talk about practical marketing and strategies. This was huge. This was an amazing workshop that we did. Again, I would love to get him on our podcast to kind of give you a glimpse of some of that, those key aha moments that we had. I mean, it was stuff that you could do today. It wasn't like this big abstract thing. It was like really practical things that you could do, low-hanging fruit that anyone could do. You don't have to have a portfolio to do the things that he was suggesting. So that was really insightful. And then we had Keith Black come in, all about leveraging social media. So it just took it to the next step in giving us tools to use for our Instagram campaigns, for our marketing campaigns, to show up as our best self, to show up as our designer self that we connected with on day one. And then we had a panel, and the panel was between myself, Ginger Robbie, and Tamara Romeo, us three co-founders of Design Coach Collective. And we just basically shared our process and procedures from concept to completion. What does it look like when a lead comes in? How do we process our proposals? How do we get the proposals? What does a discovery call look like? How do we price? What is our pricing structure for design and procurement and purchasing? So we really dove in deep in there and just answered all the questions that the designers had about all the nitty-gritty stuff, the things that other interior designers that I've noticed in the field don't share. And this is like all the secret stuff that people don't share or talk about. And we want this to be open. We want people to know, what our processes and procedures are, and what are the red flags, and what are the things that didn't work, and what are the things that are currently working. And then we went into lunch. It was a nice lunch, just reconnecting with everybody, getting to know the other designers there, creating community, eating together, something so special there. We had a professional chef come in, Tiffany, from Blooming Apron, and she cooked for us the entire time. So one of the most important things is nurturing yourselves, nurturing your bodies. And we wanted to keep the eating part, the thinking about eating, separate. We wanted someone to come in to take care of us so that we could really focus in on ourselves as interior designers. So Tiffany did that to the max. I mean, she made the most beautiful breakfasts, lunch and dinner. It was just outstanding what she did. We definitely will always have a chef at our retreats. That was just such a huge moment, and everybody felt taken care of. Everybody felt nourished. We had snacks there all day long. We had all the drinks you can imagine, all the waters and the coffees and the teas and all the things that you would need so that you can, have a functioning, well-nourished body and brain while we were diving in deep to all of this. And then we had Ken St. Pierre come in from Modern Luxury Magazine, and he spoke all about unlocking networking opportunities, the power of networking, speaking about publishing, things that you can do outside of getting a magazine campaign on your team, and things that you could do right now. Again, practicality with all of our speakers of things that you can do right now that's just going to up level your business. Such easy things. But sometimes we need somebody to come in from this authority, from this experience space to share their story, to share what's worked for other people, and also what hasn't worked, and where to put your money when you're first starting out. It's really important to create these basic foundations in your design business. And then we had a beautiful dinner that night. We had a cocktail hour. We had special guests. We had special tastings. We had a few people from Modern Luxury come in and just connect with all of us, talk to us, share with us what they're doing, who they're connecting with, and just building that network of community and people that you know. So now next time you go to an event, you know all these people and you don't have to feel so alone. Also, you've made a community with ourselves and the other interior designers. And I know that a lot of these designers are connecting afterward, and they're going to be supporting each other through their interior design journey as they become the professionals that they are seeking to be. The next day, we started with Tamara, our business coach, and she dove deep into LinkedIn on another level. She was also showing her website, showing the things that she has, what makes a great profile, what are all the things that you need, what's the checklist to make sure that everything is fulfilled and proficient and looks good, because you never know when an opportunity is going to come to you, and you have the time, you have the benefit of time as a new designer to get everything in place so that when that opportunity comes in, you look extremely professional. So it was really neat to have a hands-on workshop with her. And then we went into AI for interior designers with Jenna Gadusik. And that was mind-blowing for so many designers. There were so many tools that she went in. She also talked about the ethics of AI, which is really important. So making sure that you've got that in place. And then she gave us all the tools, really broke things down so that it was easy to see. She gave us clarity on all the different aspects of AI to run our business, not just the pretty stuff, the mood boards and the renderings, or the inspiration photos, I should say, but she gave us practical tools that we can use to run our business. And then we had a lunch with a vendor. We had a lunch with our House of Royal rep, Patrina, and she shared her story. She was an ex-designer. She had showrooms, and now she's a rep here in San Diego, but she was able to give the designers a beautiful array of how she got to where she is and the path that she took, and to show these designers that there are different areas in interior design that you can do. You don't have to be an interior designer if you fall in love with the product, or you fall in love with a line or a brand that you feel extremely aligned with, and you want to represent that line, and you just want to work with interior designers. So there's so many different avenues. It was really cool to get her perspective, have her come in. After that, we did another panel discussion with the three of us, Ginger, myself, and Tamara, and we spoke about the vendor partnership relationship. We talked, we spoke about how to open these accounts. I created a checklist for everyone to ask new vendors, about quick ship and lead time and, warehousing and shipping fees and freight fees, and do they do white glove? Do you do drop ship? There's a million different things that you have to look at with logistics. And, maybe there's a minimum. What are those minimums with those vendors? So they got a nice tangible worksheet checklist with that. And then toward the end, we had Paula Oblin come in, and she really highlighted her niche, which was really cool for the designers to see how somebody has dialed it in. And she does branded destination design. So she's doing these beautiful Airbnbs, these destination places that are branded, that have all these different aspects that you might not have thought about. And so it was just a beautiful way to end it with this inspiration of what these designers could be. So it was another tangible thing that they could connect with. And then, of course, at the end of all of it, for closing, we really wanted to get their feedback, wanted to know, what they liked about the retreat, what wasn't working for them, what did they want more of, so that we can really, really dial in the next retreat. I can just see these getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As far as elevating, I should say they're being elevated each time, not necessarily bigger. So our next retreat is happening. Excuse me. Our next retreat is happening in May, the weekend of the 15th, where we have a house already booked out in Temecula, California. And we've already got speakers that are in alignment. We're working on the theme. So I'll be sharing that with all of you. I think we're going to be able to house a few people at the actual house. That was something that the attendees really wanted, was to be able to stay together versus going off on their own, because we had everyone kind of launched elsewhere. But one thing there's a couple things that I wanted to share with you today, just about some aha moments that I had as a host, that I got from all of our speakers and even the attendees who were there. And the big thing was community. That was extremely, extremely powerful. I know that when I started my business, it was very lonely, and many other interior designers out there are feeling lonely. And creating a community, having a community is extremely important. And that was one of the intentions that we had when we made this retreat. We wanted people to meet in person. We wanted them to connect in person. We wanted them to have conversations outside of the workshops, to brainstorm, to throw ideas at each other and just talk things through. And there were so many aha moments, inspiration, people crying. Like, it was just really, really, really powerful to see a community get made. And they are going to be connecting together throughout their entire careers. I just know it. They're already talking about meeting up and connecting and sharing ideas. So that was really, really huge. And it also created a community for myself, created a community with my peers, along with Ginger and Tamara, and us together, just being a trio of partnership and collaboration, which was so amazing and beautiful. And just creating the retreat with them has been really, really empowering. And again, not feeling like we're alone, and knowing that we're going through all the same things. And it's not just me that's not making this work, or having another person look at something from another perspective. It's huge. And then the second thing, which we already know, but it was just so much more validating, is this niche piece. Is you really, really, really need to dial in who you're serving, what you're doing, and getting clarity on that, because with that, it's just so powerful. So I'm actually looking at my own business, revamping some things, really dialing into my niche, focusing in on that, knowing that just because I'm focused in on that niche doesn't mean I can't take other work, or that other people won't seek me, because they are still going to seek you to do other things, but they're going to know you for this one thing. And it's also really about figuring out your identity. Who are you as an interior designer? How do you want to show up? What values do you bring to your client? How are you aligned with your ideal client? And how can you serve them? That's been a big piece. I'm like, how can I be a better designer that can think 10 steps ahead? How can I preempt, all these things? How can I serve them in a way that another interior designer can't? What can I bring to the table that no one else does, that's truly, truly unique to my identity and to my brand? So that's what I'm going to be focusing on the next couple of weeks, is really dialing in my brand, dialing who I am. I feel like I've got a pretty good dial in, but I feel like I can go even deeper. And that's what I'm going to be doing. And if you are an interior designer currently working out in the field, I definitely would invite you to relook at all of that. Take this time to revamp a little bit, refresh. You can never do enough of that, going through everything, taking out the weeds, going through the closet, clearing things out. And if you don't know where to start in your office. Start going through your paperwork, go through your stuff, throw things away, donate other things like that. Just shifting that, opening up the windows, clearing things out is going to be huge for that big, fresh breath of air. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I can't wait to connect with you again soon. We will be getting on those guest speakers, so stay tuned for all the future episodes, and I cannot wait to connect with you and love to know what you're working on. Please feel free to reach out to me. And also, if you have any suggestions or recommendations for future episodes, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy designing and take care. You've been listening to the Holistic Interior Design Podcast. If it's one that you have been enjoying, please share with anyone else that you think can benefit from this knowledge, and leave us a 5-star review that helps us get seen and found by other new and aspiring interior designers. And if you're looking for mentorship, I invite you to join our club here at the Design Coven. It's a bridge between school and real life interior design. We get in much deeper there. We have virtual and in-person events. So everyone is welcome. You don't need to have a design degree to be part of it, just an interest in holistic interior design. Until next time, be well, and we will see each other soon.